Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I return with a follow-up on the lovely mount I bought recently, which is the SAL-33 by ML Astro. I do have an initial video and I'll put a link above me if you haven't already checked that out, but I've had a chance now to get some good usage with this mount, so stick around. I'm going to go through the details that I didn't cover in my initial video, and hopefully you will find this of interest. My name's Glenn and you're watching Astrobloke. So this is the SAL-33, the Harmonic mount that was recently released by ML Astro, and it is a beautiful piece of equipment. It's so nicely made. It's quite lovely to get your hands on it. Everything is CNC machined. There's no plastic panels or anything. The whole thing is completely CNC'd from aluminium, and it really is beautiful. It's finished in a clear anodized silver. There's a reason for that. It's so that it doesn't fade or have heat issues when doing solar. So ML Astro are the people behind the SHG spectroheliograph for solar, and they want this to also be used for that. So they've included that in its kind of design, and I personally think it looks amazing. I love the finish. I really like the simplicity of just a silver mount, and I think it really lets you appreciate all of that lovely machinery. A little bit more detail actually on the machinery. I was a little bit confused at the zero shift mechanism that's been included with this mount. Initially I thought it was that you set the polar alignment and then you could lock it down and it wouldn't move about. What it's actually been done is it's been machined to really tight tolerances so that it's actually already locked down. You can actually tighten everything up really, really firmly, so there's absolutely no movement in the mount at all, but you can still adjust it. So even with everything locked down, and it's really smooth as well, you know, you've got full adjustment, and that's not just with the altitude, you've got it with the alt as well. So that's a really nice feature, because I know that with my Chem 26, if you tighten it down, you can't get any adjustments made, so you have to slacken it off a little bit, do your polar alignment, but then you've got a mount that's not fully tightened down, and when you do try and nip them up, there's always some kind of movement. So I think this is a fantastic addition and very welcoming, because I found that once it is polar aligned, it's not shifting. I did have a few issues with polar alignment. I was initially using Nina. I think I was talking with Mihn over this. I think my guide scope had some kind of slight shift on it, or there was some flexing going on, and I wasn't really getting a very good polar alignment, and my guiding wasn't the greatest. When I say my guiding wasn't the greatest, it still was fine for what I was imaging. I was getting in the high 0.6, 0.69 arc seconds total error, sometimes a little bit lower, sometimes into the 0.7s, which is still under my imaging scale. So it wasn't really an issue, to be honest. But I've happily can report that I did get much better polar alignment, and my guiding figures came down. And I'll show you a graph now where you can see that the guiding total RMS error is down in the 0.4s, which is really, really good for one of these mounts. Now, I know some people stress over guiding. They want to get it to the absolute minimum they can. With a harmonic mount, periodic error is going to be there because of the design of these things. And I'm sure with time, these will get better. Mihn is working very hard with OnStepX to improve things, and he even sent me a file to help me reduce some of the voltage going into the motors for lighter loads, because he was thinking that maybe the default settings were for more where you're using this at capacity with a much heavier load, say something over 10 kilograms, and my load was about 5 to 6 kilograms, which is way under its maximum capacity. Talking about the capacity, without a counterweight, this will support up to 15 kilograms of weight and track it no problem. Obviously, for imaging, you are recommended to only use about 2/3 of the maximum, so you need to bring that down a little bit. With a counterweight, and if you add a 5 kilogram counterweight to the SAL, and on the front here we can see we've got a little thumb screw here, and there's where you can put a bar in there. It can be bought from ML Astro, but I think it's a pretty standard fitting, so if you've got any kind of counterweight bar, it will fit in there. If you add a 5 kilogram counterweight, this will then go up to 20 kilograms. Now, obviously, if you've got a really heavy rig, this isn't going to cut it for you, but ML Astro have announced that they're doing the SAL-33, so that is literally twice the capacity that this one has. Much bigger motors, much more torque, and it's going to be more based around having it on, say, something like a pier in an observatory. Now, at the moment, I've got an EQ8 R Pro and an EQ6 R Pro. Both are fantastic mounts, but I'm tempted that with the EQ6, maybe change that for a SAL-33 when it comes out. I'll see. One of the nice things that has been reported is that on the SAL-33 there's going to be a motorised polar alignment, so it looks like it's going to have automated polar alignment, and those modules will fit the SAL-33, so that has also been designed to be able to go on here, so that's quite a nice addition that could come later on for me. So yeah, as with polar alignment, Mihn provided a 3D printed file for the SAL. This is for the iOptron iPolar, which fits in really nicely. Got it 3D printed, couple of screws on the side there, and the iPolar sits in there. It's going to make things a lot easier out in the field. The mount's been absolutely brilliant. I've not had any issues with it at all. It's got some very nice features in that if for some reason you lose power, it's got a physical brake, so it's not going to just suddenly drop down with your scope on it. It literally locks in place, so you've got no dangers of that happening, and it will remember its last position. So even if you've lost power, when you get power back on, it knows where it was, and so it will go back to its home position. It'll go back to its park position. For home, you've even got these little marks on the mount that have already been placed, so that you can make sure that everything is lined up nicely. On the side, you've got your normal inputs of your power in and your USB-B, and a simple power button. You do have an ST4 port, which I know pretty much nobody uses now, but you do require this if you want to use the hand controller with this mount. You don't actually need the hand controller, because this mount gives off its own Wi-Fi signal, which you can connect to through, say, an iOS or Android device, and you can actually use that as a way of controlling the mount if that's what you choose to do. So while I've mentioned that, let's quickly jump on the PC and connect to the Wi-Fi of the SAL-33 so you can see that in action. So once you get the power supply to the SAL, pressing it on, you get a nice little red light there, and it will power up. There's a little whir there to let you know that it's turned itself on. So now if we jump on the PC, we should be able to find the Wi-Fi for the SAL and connect to it. Okay, so we just need to get the Wi-Fi up, look for the SAL-33 Wi-Fi and connect to that. Once we're connected, we then go to any browser and type in the access code to the SAL-33, which is 192.168. 0.0.1, and that should take you into the actual mount. And if we click on mount there, you can see there you've got time and location. That will be blank or incorrect at first. You need to set time and date by clicking that time and date button, and then just put your location and your local time. As I say, you've got all the controls for the mount here, but what we'll do is we'll show you the mount actually slewing. So if I click on controls here, if you originally, the guide rate comes at 20, so you need to click the end one here, which is VVF, very, very fast, and then you'll see the mount move. If you try and slew it on what it comes default, you won't see it moving. So there we go. So we give that a bit of west. We'll press also some north, get the declination axis working. And then we'll go back to find home. And back the mount comes. So as you see, you can completely control the mount through its web browser. It's got everything in there with go-tos and tracking. I won't be controlling the mount this way at all, as I will be using it through its ASCOM driver and Nina. So, but this is there if you want it. So I've made no secret in the fact that I absolutely love the finish of the ML Astro SAL-33. I think the clear silver dyes, silver anodizing has been a success. I think it's a really nice looking mount. I love the fact it's the finish it is. You can really appreciate all of the machinery. And the fact that none of this is plastic. There's no plastic on this whatsoever. It is all CNC machined aluminium. But a lovely touch that Mihn from ML Astro has started to do now, and has actually included people from the first batch where it wasn't available, was to have a personalized panel. And this is my one for Astrobloke. And I think this is a really nice touch. And Mihn has kindly sent this to me, and it's going to go right there. So I'm now going to put this on and personalize my mount. So I wasn't sure how tight the bolts were. They weren't tight at all. They just needed a little crack off, but they're already done. So when you see me undoing these, don't think, oh crikey, they're loose. They're already been loosened. I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to have any problems before I started the video. So we'll just take this off, and it'll be interesting because I've not had a panel off of this mount as yet, and it'll be quite interesting to see inside. So while the panel's off, we'll have a little look. I'm expecting to see it to look rather nice, actually. I mean, everything on this mount is just such a nice, clean finish. And I do love this ability to be able to just take a panel off and change it over. And this is part of the modular design of this mount. There we go. Oh, that looks very nice in there. So let's take you in and let you have a little look inside there. That looks very tidy indeed. I must say that when I opened up my Skywatcher EQ6 mount, I was greeted with a great big abundance of dirty, sticky grease everywhere. And it's nice not to see anything like that. But looking in there, that's really, really, really nice. Yes. Very nice indeed. So, looks good. I'm not taking anything out. I'm just going to literally put this panel on. So, I think this is lovely to be able to have a little personalisation on your mount. Okay, and that's that on. Like I always say, with anything like this, when you're doing these steel bolts up into the aluminium casing, don't over tighten. It's very easy to strip the threads or cause a bit of damage. You don't need to over tighten. That's on Lovely and Fermi, and that is love. That's really beautiful. I mean, how nice to have something that like that, a personalization on your mount. I think that's a really nice touch and a fantastic idea by Mihn from ML Astro. So thank you very much for that. I'm a very proud owner. Before I sign off, I'd just like to let you know that Mihn has been a recent guest on an astronomy podcast called ASTROCAST, and it's an extremely interesting interview. So if you'd like to learn more about ML Astro, Mihn, and the things like the SAL-33 there that I recently purchased, it's an excellent listen. Mihn goes over his passion for astrophotography, his design choices on his mount and other things that he has in the pipeline. So he's got more things coming out in the future, and he works closely with OnStepX and that open source software. It looks like it's an exciting time, and there's going to be some great developments in the future which will only benefit us in the hobby. So thank you ever so much, Mihn. It's greatly appreciated, your passion and everything that you do. If you've enjoyed the content, please consider liking and subscribing, as it helps the channel massively, and I'm forever grateful. If you'd like to support the channel further, there is a join button for membership, and you can also, for just the price of a coffee, join my Patreon, where you get to see all of my videos without any ads. Until next time, please take care, and I'll see you under the stars.